Hey guys, welcome back once again to Wisco Beer Run. We are going to do step 2 of making the wine. If you guys watched the first video, I've got about, 15 pounds of rhubarb and a couple pounds of strawberries and some just a berry blend juice in there, 10 pounds of sugar. Let that macerate here for 2 days, which means just kind of let it sit in the bucket so it gets all juicy and delicious. So I'm gonna start at that step. We'll mix that up a little bit. And you can see behind me, I've got this larger fermenter. This is really just for the second step where I add water, put the fruit and stuff in a brew bag, and then we're going to kind of kick off the sanitation portion of it. We'll let that sit for a little bit before I put any yeast in it and get the fermentation going. So I'll be back here in a minute. We'll take a look at the fruit that's in there, and then we'll get started on the rest of the process. Alright guys, I popped the lid on my fruit. Looks really good, nice and juicy. You would not believe how good this smells. I would love to take a bite of it, honestly. So my next step here is I'm going to mix this up a little bit. And then in my larger fermenter, I've got some yeast nutrients, 1 tablespoon. I've got 5 Camden tablets crushed up. Sanitize everything here for a couple days, and 1 teaspoon of wine tannin. Then of course got my brew bag right here. All the fruit's going to go into that. All the liquid's going to drain through, and we'll mix that in with the water and everything else. So I will show you what that looks like in a second. But man, this is some delicious stuff right here. Alright, so I got my yeast nutrient, got my tannin, my Camden tablets in this larger bucket I'm going to use here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water in here. Forgive me, I had to buy bottled water because I didn't have time to go to a well. I wish I had some better water to use, but it works. Put a little bit of water in there. 1 more. We're going to use a total of 5 gallons of water here. So we'll do 5 gallons of water along with this juice. When I measure the potential alcohol, I want a reading of like 1.09 points specific gravity. That should be right around the 12% alcohol mark or potential alcohol mark. And once I let this kind of get going a little bit, I will pull the bag out and I'll take another measurement. I might have to add some sugar to it to get it up there. But we're going to put 5 gallons of water in along with the fruit juice and the fruit itself and the tannin, the yeast nutrients, and the Camden tablets. And then we'll see where things are at. But I'm just going to stir this up a little bit and make sure it's mixed in. One thing, I did mention this earlier in the conversation here. You want to make sure everything is sanitized really well. Because you don't want any kind of bacteria in here. So I typically use Star San. It's a mixture of the sanitizer. It works really well for me, but everything that I touch the wine with, whether it's a bucket or my stir stick here, it is very well sanitized. Last thing you want to do is get some weird infection in your wine, and of course that's going to make it go bad. Alright, so I mix this up, and I will be back here as soon as I get the brew bag going and dump the delicious liquid in here. Alright, brew bag is in place. Dump this delicious stuff in there. Here we go. This is the fun part. Oh man, look at that juice. Oh, that is fantastic. Oh goodness. Not a fruit yet. There we go. Whew. That is good stuff right there. Tell you what. Sure hope it turns out. Get all that pen in there. Ooh boy. All right, I'm going to take a little water and rinse this bucket out here. Get that in there and then just fill it up with water. Once I get that done, I will show you what she looks like. All right, guys, I got my cheaters on here because I'm old. Added all the water to my concoction here. Took a sample of that, checked it with my hydrometer, and we're pretty low. So we're only at about 1.05, just under that. So what that means is I'm definitely going to have to add some sugar to this. I'll show you the little system here. All right, so this measures the potential alcohol in it. We want it to be in this red range here. So something over 10% potential alcohol, but we're pretty low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find me some sugar, and I am going to add sugar. You can do some calculations to find out exactly how much you need to raise it to a specific level, but you can find that on the internet. I'm not going to go through all that for you, but I'm going to bring this gravity up so that we get somewhere in that red range. I'll be targeting like 12% for this wine. So quite a bit of sugar to add there. It's probably, I'm guessing it's probably going to be 4 pounds or so. But I will find the sugar, I will mix it up, and I will show you a reading right after this. So we're almost there. All right, guys, I am back. I had to add quite a bit more sugar, miscalculate a little bit, and I didn't have my cheaters on when I was reading my hydrometer. But anyway, and actually I had to run to the store and get some sugar. So what I ended up doing is putting about, I don't know, actually about 8 pounds more of sugar in there. Made sure I mixed it up real well so it dissolved into the liquid. And this is what we ended up with here. So I don't know, it's kind of tough to see, maybe. But we're right at that 1.09 specific gravity, which is just about 12% potential alcohol. So what I'm going to do is seal this up, put an airlock on it, and let it sit for about 24 hours, just for that Camden tablets to kill any natural yeast in there. And then I am going to throw some yeast in it. We'll be using EC1118 yeast for this. And that's about it. So, hey, it ain't rocket science. It's a lot of fun to do. And usually you end up with a pretty decent product at the end. So that's what we've got for you tonight. And we'll be back with the next step. I'll probably just record the yeast. It's not a big deal. You just sprinkle it on there, seal it up, and you're good to go. So that's it for tonight. We'll come back when we get things going. Thank you for watching, and go Brewers, beat the Cubs. Thanks. Prost.